opportunity gained.
Another thing which I don't know if I have seen this before or not, but it's very, very tactful, is knowing about the speech that you're evaluating.
Yep.
Honestly, I have seen that probably we take the book on the last minute, and then we know you're going to evaluate my speech number so and so. I don't know how many of us have been doing the contact between the evaluator and the speaker, because that has a lot to do with understanding the speech and the objective. In addition, you have an outline that you need to evaluate the person through, which the book has given us. Any extra, you're doing it from, your own.
Sure. And of course, yeah, and essentially, as you all know, each manual does have the list of objectives, which tells you specifically what to look for that particular speech, right? Now, of course, you may notice other things as well, even though, let's say, if you're working on vocal variety for that particular speech, you'll probably notice other things, of course. But at the same time, though, just as a general evaluation, when you're observing someone, one may think that's too much to take in at once, right? I mean, there's so many things I can notice. I mean, the manual says look at one thing, but obviously, I can notice so many other things. How do I know to even put all this together into a type of formula, right? So that's essentially what I'm talking about, and of course, that's my next point, which you must have saw my notes too, Gina. But that's essentially my next point as well, as far as going into utilizing the manual as a tool to make sure you hone on, if nothing else, at least on the objectives of that particular speech.
How would you do it?
Well, let me get to that in just a second. See, I've reeled in already. See, if you stay for that, that's the cliffhanger. So, but essentially, again, when you give that critique and you're telling someone that they may want to change something, let them know where that opportunity is lost so they can purposely utilize that for their next speech. And then, Marcia, as you alluded to, you definitely want to actually end with something positive as well, right? So when you do that, what does that do? Well, number one, it makes the whole evaluation in a whole, number one, look more positive. The person might be more accepting of what you had to say. And then at the same time, when you actually end with something positive, that allows them, again, like kind of the confidence booster. So you all remember probably your first day of giving, or your first speech that you give, your icebreaker, right? And of course you were evaluating. And you remember probably how nervous you were. Like, oh my gosh, I know, this is my first one. These people probably been doing this for years. And I just did one little measly speech about myself and I couldn't remember my first name. So when you get up there and then they're giving your evaluation, then you're thinking, oh, it wasn't so bad because, they told me something I did great, which is a positive. I like that. They told me a couple of things I can work on, which is good because that's why I'm here anyway. And then they ended and told me, you know what, but in the end you did X, Y, Z grade as well. So continue to do that. And through, your subsequent meetings here at Toastmasters, I'm sure you'll be a great speaker. That makes you feel good. It makes you want to come again, and it makes you want to purposely work on those things as well. Because you're going to speak some more, right? Whether it's at work or at Toastmasters, and it makes you want to continuously work on those things. And I don't make it seem like I'm an old fogey here or anything, because I know I'm not, but in the time that I've been here, I've seen other Toastmasters come here and start off wanting to work on something, and then over time, doing a great job, and I didn't use you time, but you're just like, again, I evaluated you one time, and you did such an excellent job. At the last speech, I evaluated you, so I have to use your example. So I've seen Toastmasters come in and just do an excellent job working on whatever it is they wanted to work on, and Tom, you're a great example of that. So, and I would assume it's probably through good evaluations, right? Through the evaluation that you've received, not necessarily mine, but just evaluations in general, right? Then you receive that feedback and you're able to utilize that and purposely do it for the next speech. But like I said, there might be a lot to take in, right? You're doing your evaluation, you're watching the person speak, and you're thinking, that's a lot to take in. I mean, there's their vocal variety, the way they're talking, their pacing, and I'm trying to keep up, and I'm trying to write as fast as they're talking, right? It's a lot to take in, right? So as Jihad alluded to, you want to utilize that manual as much as possible. Now, you all know in each of the manuals, there's the objectives right there, right? It tells you what to look for each speech, right? There's usually maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 objectives in there. What you want to do is look at those objectives beforehand, right? So that means don't open the manual like while they're speaking, right? And then start reading the objectives like, oh, I guess he's done. Well, let me see what I think he did do, right? You want to look at it beforehand. What this will do is it'll get you prepared to look for whatever it is the objectives are in their speech. You'll be looking for that, right? And then again, that formula, how we talked about giving the feedback, start off with something positive, be specific, right? Then of course, when they give your critique, you don't want to be accusatory in doing so. Start off with your critique as well. And then when you do that, again, let them know what that opportunity was lost and how they can, maybe utilize that opportunity next time. And then end with something positive as well. Be specific, right? Let me know what I can do, or let me know what I think that was great specifically. Keep that. Do it again. And let me know what I might be able to change and tell me why. When you do that, then I can go through my objectives as well and utilize that as a tool to make sure that I'm staying on task, to make sure that the the task that you were trying to reach, the objective you were trying to reach, either was met or was not met. So did Dauv, let's say it was did Dauv look at the room? I'm going to do it on purpose just to make sure. But did Dauv scan the entire room, right? Yes or no? Now, if I did, again, you want to tell me why. You want to tell me why that was a positive. You don't want to assume I already know that. And if I didn't, tell me where that opportunity was lost as well. In the manual, actually does a good job of actually outlining what the point of each one of those objectives are as well, right? It'll tell you, eye contact is great. This is why. This is why you need to do it. This is what it looks like if you don't do it. And this is why it's bad if you don't, right? It does an excellent job of that. There was another evaluation that I've heard from another Toastmaster, and she actually did a great job of utilizing examples in them. So instead of just saying, you should do better at X, she would say, you should do better at X. For example, you can try this, or you can try that. And by doing that, I assumed that the speaker, it wasn't me, but I can assume that the speaker had a great idea as far as utilizing that advice, and if they didn't already have an idea, then by that evaluator giving them some tips, giving them some examples would help kind of draw their memory and allow them to know how to utilize their tips a little bit better, right? So if you say, Dauv, you need to scan the room, well, I don't know how to scan. I need to stand right here because this makes me comfortable. Well, let me tell you how one way to do it. You can switch from person to person. First look at one person, and then look at another general person, typically toward the back, because then it looks like you're scanning more of the room, right? As opposed to going like this the whole time. Oh, get out. Okay.
Come on in.
Come on in.
You said 2 more minutes?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Well, my brief little 2 minutes, I know the one thing that I wanted to hit on, again, besides the manuals and the positive feedback, again, is make sure.
Come on in. Oh, is that?
Oh yeah, so again, besides the positive feedback and besides utilize that manual as a tool, again, you definitely want to make sure that your speech or your evaluation is organized as well, right? So when I get up there and give you an evaluation, I can't get up there and go, all right, so look, Sandy, wow, that was excellent. You did a good job with your eye contact. Your vocal variety needs some work, just a little bit, because you was kind of flat the whole time, monotone, and almost put me to sleep. That's okay, because I need some sleep. Now, to end on a good note, though, you did a great job with your props that you brought in, because you clearly illustrated the point that you were trying to make in your speech, right? Now, if you say something to that effect, they're like, okay, well, you went here, then you were here, you were kind of all over the place. If you actually make sure you, number one, outline the objectives for not only everyone, but the speaker as well, right? So when you start on your evaluation, they know exactly what you were evaluating, very clear. Speaker, you were trying to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to tell you how you did those, right? Now I know exactly what you're trying to do, and everyone else knows as well. They're not like, I don't know what the speaker was, right? Everyone's on the same page, especially the speaker you're talking to. The next thing you want to make sure you do is, when you're actually giving your evaluation, you want to actually go back to those objectives, reference those objectives, so they'll know exactly which objective that you're referring to, and did they reach that or not. And of course, you can be as specific as possible. That's the key point. So for another evaluation, where someone says, excellent job, at the end, then all right. So again, you want to be as specific as possible with that. And just like any other speech, you're going to have the introduction, which is your objective, your body, which is where you're going through the critique, positive, maybe change 1 or 2 things here, and then end on that positive note. And then in closing, tell me what you as the audience member felt about my particular speech, right? Because I don't know how I felt. I mean, I thought it was great, probably. I wrote it. But what did you all feel, right? What did you all feel about the speech? Tell me that experience. That's why I come here to talk to you all, right? When you speak, I speak to other people because I want to know exactly how you received it. Was the joke funny? Did you get the point of what I was trying to show you? I want to know that from you all, and only you all can tell me that, because of course I'm going to be biased. So then at the end, you want to tell, ultimately it was effective, like it's a persuasive speech, and ultimately you persuaded me to, or you didn't, because I think the thing that was missing was, or if it was a humor speech, it would have been funny, but you missed the, fill in the blank. Let me know how you felt as an audience member overall about my speech. Did I do whatever the objective of my speech was? Did I do that? Yes or no? And if so, why? If not, why not? And then if you don't even get the objective, then say that. I don't even know what you're trying to tell me, Doc. What were you talking about up there the whole time? Then let me know that as well. That tells me I need to be more clear in my communication when I'm speaking. Does that make sense? I got like 20 seconds? Okay, my last 20 seconds, I'm going to say, is there any 20-second questions? No 20-second questions?